wipe you. Okay, hello everyone, this is Elaine here. Welcome to Dash of Soy Virtual Kitchen. My name is Elaine. I am the founder and cooking instructor for Dash of Soy. I know many of you, and hi. So I am excited to be here to be doing a live cooking show, which is my first. So happy to see a lot of familiar names, and I'm enjoying the moment to say hi to a lot of you. But so what we have in place for you today is that I'm going to teach you how to make fried rice with fermented tofu. So it is a vegan-friendly dish that you can try at home. And what I'm gonna do is cook live. And so some housekeeping is that you are welcome to type in questions in the chat box. And because I'll be busy cooking and I'm terrible with multitasking, I have invited my dearest friend, Jeje, on the line. So she's joining remotely as a moderator and as Dash of Soy on the chat. So Jeje, can you say hi to everyone?
Hello everyone, thanks for joining.
So she will come in audio to verbally let me know if there's a question that she would like me to address while I'm cooking. But at the same time, she will mostly be watching the chat room and or the chat thread to answer some of the questions that you may have. She has watched me cook this dish many times, and so she'll be able to answer a lot of questions and very helpful so that I don't have to try to cook and type at the same time. The other thing is, if you would like to get a copy of the recipe, which is beautifully hand-drawn and illustrated by me, you can go to dashofsoy.com/recipes, and that's my blog on my website. And Jeje would provide you with a link to that in the chat as well. So you can also read up about what I'm doing and also get access to the illustrated version. So with that, hi Sonia, hi Ben, a lot of familiar faces. So I'll try to say hello as you guys come in. And those of you, I think I saw someone from my neighborhood, Georgetown in Seattle. So I will repeat this as well, but I am happy to also support my local community, and I have seen some of the ingredients available that I'm using today available in our neighborhood Asian market called Maruta, which is just around the corner. So I will repeat this again, but you can also get a lot of, if not everything, that I'm using today from that neighborhood store that we can all walk to. So that's another way to support local businesses. And with that, I am going to start. So you're gonna be with me for the next 30 to 40 minutes. So yeah, grab a cup of tea, wine, whatever you want, and we're gonna get started. Okay, so as I said, I'm teaching fried rice with fermented tofu. It's a very simple recipe, and I know a lot of you are buying rice because of COVID-19 and staying home and trying not to go out to the grocery store a lot. So rice is a great pantry item, and I know a lot of my friends have that in their pantry, but all they're doing is steamed rice and not so much other than that. And so I wanted to have my first video about fried rice because it gives you another alternative to use your rice. And this is delicious, very simple, and it's versatile. So this is one way of doing fried rice, but I'll try to explain sort of the methodology so that you can adapt it and use what you have. So first thing first, I just dropped some rice on my chopping board, which is clean. So for this recipe, I am using 2 cups This is more than 2 cups, and I'll explain why. 2 cups of day-old rice. So when I say day-old, this is a key to making fried rice. And I don't mean necessarily that you have to make the rice yesterday. What I mean is that it has to be rice that you make ahead of time, so it's not steaming hot or warm. And it is important because if your rice is still hot and you try to put it in a hot pan and pan fry or stir fry it, the heat will make the moisture make your rice mushy. And so it's a big no-no when it comes to fried rice. So you can, if you know you're gonna make fried rice tonight, you can also cook your rice in the morning, cool it down, and then put it in the fridge, and that's also good. I have here some brown rice and jasmine rice that I cooked actually a few days ago, and I want to use all of it. So I am increasing it. This is probably more than 2 cups. But that's another thing, is that a lot of my recipes it doesn't have to be very precise in terms of the measurement. And this particular recipe is for 2 people, so it's 2 cups of rice, but it's very scalable. So I taught this rice in my cooking classes many times before in Seattle, and I've scaled it 4 times, 5 times. You just need a bigger pan to be able to cook more rice at the same time. Okay, so, and you don't have to have jasmine rice to make fried rice. So I have used basmati, I have used Japanese short grain rice. As I said, I have brown and sort of regular jasmine rice here as well. So use whatever you have. Okay, the second thing is 1 cup of frozen vegetable. So I am using the ones that have carrots, peas, and corn. My kind of favorite trio of frozen vegetable, but you can use what you have. What I've done here is that I have, ahead of time, rinsed the frozen vegetable under hot tap water to break it up so they're not stuck to each other. Kind of defrost it a little bit, and then drain it as well as you can. Because when you do fried rice, similar to, you don't want moisture in your rice, you don't want extra moisture to your dish. And so it's important that your frozen vegetable is not soggy and wet. If you run out of time and you didn't have time to do that step really well and it's still wet, it just takes longer in the pan to dry it up before you add other ingredients. So it will still work, as I said, very versatile, but this works really well because now it's really dry. So that's the second ingredient. This is about 1 cup, and I'm also at the end of my bag, so I just kind of dump it all in. Okay. Cool. No questions yet. Okay, the third thing is ginger. So fresh ginger root. I am using this to start my wok to flavor the oil. So this is a very typical step in all of Cantonese cooking. So we call it hei wok, which literally means to start the wok or prep the wok. And it's very common where we put some aromatic into the oil before we add other ingredients, so that the oil is already flavored, and when you use it to pan fry, stir fry, anything else, it's infused into it. And so for this, I am using ginger. And when you put ginger for hei wok purposes, you don't even have to peel it. So I have this clean piece of ginger root, and all I'm doing is cut like a chunk of it, and then I don't need to do anything but to smash it. So literally in the middle of your chopping board, flat knife, and you press down. And you see the ginger juice kind of splash all over. But that's kind of all you have to do. And then I'm gonna leave it on top of my frozen vegetable. And that is all I need to do with the ginger. Speaking of which, I want to share 2 tips that I learned from a chef many years ago that I took with me ever since. One is when you are working in the kitchen, always put your knife when you're not cutting to put it at the top of your chopping board with the blade away from you. This is to remind you to be mindful of all your tools, especially your knife, so you are not mindlessly putting it at a corner and then knocking it and dropping it and hurting yourself. And so this is a great reminder. And then for your chopping board, put a piece of cloth, wet or dry, doesn't really matter, at the bottom of your chopping board, and it makes it not slidable. So I've seen a lot of cooking shows where the host doesn't have that, and it's just sliding everywhere, and it's dangerous and just not efficient because everything's sliding everywhere. So anyways, those are 2 tips that I wanted to share with you. Okay, the 4th ingredient in our fried rice is a Sichuan preserved vegetable. So I know the name is not very precise, but this is a very optional thing that our family loves, and I put it in because I love the crunch. So I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll show you the can as well, so that if you are going to support your Asian local supermarket, you kind of know what to look for. So Sichuan is the key word here. Preserved vegetable, and it's a very common Chinese ingredient, and in Chinese it's da choy, and we all know this, but the name is not very precise. But what it is actually mustard green stem that has been preserved in a Sichuan way, so it's spicy and very salty. And what's interesting about this ingredient is that it stays crunchy no matter how long you cook it. And so it adds a really nice crunch and sort of like a surprise in the fried rice, which I love. But this is totally optional, so I wouldn't say if you don't have this that you cannot have this fried rice at home. So just skip it if you don't have it. Okay, so it is very strong. A lot of people rinse it before they cook with it. I actually like strong flavor, so I am going to just, so this is what comes out of the can. So it's already been shredded because I'm lazy. You can buy this where it still looks like the stem of the mustard green. Do a little bit more because I have, as I said, I have a little bit more than 2 cups of rice. So it stays forever because it's been preserved. So it's also a great ingredient that you can add to your pantry. And I do put it in the fridge after I open it though. So I kind of just run my knife through it, so in sort of like a small dice. And the reason why is I don't want, because it's so strong, that I don't want it to have like a big piece when I'm having my fried rice. So I kind of want it to be a nice surprise as I'm biting into my fried rice, but I don't want sort of a big chunk of the preserved vegetable. All right, so I'll show you. It's about 1/8 of an inch, if you can see it. So that's all you have to do with this. Actually, I lied. So after you chop it, I tend to put a little bit of sugar to balance the sharpness of this vegetable. But again, totally optional. Just a little secret of how I like to. So 1 teaspoon is fine. So I kind of just sprinkle it and then mix it. And that's all you have to do. And if you do decide to invest and try this preserved vegetable, it's great with congee. It's great with, if you're steaming, I teach a steamed tofu dish, and you can add it on top and as a garnish and also for the crunch. So really delicious. Okay, so that's basically the ingredients I have in my fried rice. So the next thing I'm gonna do is prepare the sauce, which I'm gonna add to the fried rice. In the meantime, I'm gonna kind of turn on the pan so that when we are ready, it is ready as well. Okay, so the name of the recipe is fried rice with fermented tofu. So fermented tofu is this magic right here. So it is nicknamed Chinese cheese because it is kind of made similar to cheese, but using tofu. So it's a vegan cheese basically. And I joke that this is more like a Chinese vegan blue cheese because of how pungent it is, and also the texture is not far from what a blue cheese looks like. But obviously it's a bad analogy in a sense that it is very different. But this is really delicious in the sense that it has a very unique umami flavor to it. So it's an amazing, if you're vegan or enjoy plant-based food, this is like a secret sauce that you can get familiar with, and then you can add it to as a subtle thing that you kind of add to your dishes to up level sort of that umami flavor. If you don't want to tell your friends, this will be like a secret ingredient. So I am going to make the sauce, and all I need is 2 teaspoons of this magic. And by the way, if you so it comes in a brine, which is what it used to make the sauce. So it is a brine out of Chinese rice wine, vinegar, and other flavor. So I'm just going to take about 2 teaspoons out of this jar. And then this will go back to the fridge later. Okay, and then I am going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I'm going to be very precise here. 2 teaspoons of water, just to dilute the flavor. And I'll show you what the sauce looks like. If you don't have this, so this is what you can get from Maruta, which is our Asian neighborhood store. If anyone from Georgetown is here, hello neighbors. So I added 2 teaspoons. So this is available in Maruta, and it looks like this. So this is an older jar that I kept because of the brine, but it looks like that. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of that, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of water, and then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. So in the recipe, I call for light soy sauce. So this is very important. In Chinese cooking, we have many different types of soy, and the 2 most common are dark soy and light soy. And so today we're not using dark. Dark is for color, and light is for a sharper umami and savory taste. And if it's not labeled, if you have a jar of soy sauce you got from Trader Joe's before, if it's not labeled, it's usually light. So this is a really good brand. I'm not endorsing any brand, but this is one that I like, and also I'll show you later the other one that I like as well. So just 1 teaspoon of light soy. Okay, and then a dash of, not soy, a dash of roasted sesame oil. So just for flavor. So that's probably more than a dash. Okay, and then I'm going to, that's all you need for the sauce. And this might be really loud, but mixing the sauce. So this is, I'm gonna take that teaspoon and mix it as well. So if you don't have this sauce, the fermented tofu, you can use Japanese miso, which is more common, I suppose, in a lot of kitchen. So you can use that as well. It's not exactly the same, but it's a similar thing. All right, okay, I'm just gonna check out some of the comments that you guys have. Hi Candace, hi Bernard, hi Sakshi.
And you actually intuitively answered one of the questions, which was how can I substitute fermented tofu? So we answered that, and you did too. It's perfect.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it wasn't scrolling for me, strangely. But anyways, yeah, hello everyone. Cool. Okay, so my pan is now warm, so I'm going to crank it up just a little bit. And I am going to hei wok or start my stir fry or fried rice with grapeseed oil. So any kind of vegetable oil would work that can endure high heat. So this is what I'm using right now because I think it was on sale. I just put in this squeeze bottle. So about 2-3 tablespoons because I'm using a cast iron which takes more oil, but if you have a non-stick, probably less. Alright, okay, so I am going to hei wok with my ginger, so okay. Don't know if you guys can hear it, but I just put in the ginger that I smashed earlier, and I'm putting it into the oil to kind of flavor the oil. So this is, in Chinese cooking, we do this with garlic, with ginger, with spring onions, shallots. Those are the usual aromatics in Chinese Cantonese cooking. So it's very common.
Elaine, we do have a question about the kind of rice you're using. Does it matter if we use basmati or jasmine? Long grain, short grain?
No, it doesn't really matter. I would say, especially during this time, to use whatever you have. I love jasmine rice, and I happen to have some brown jasmine rice, and so I'm using that because I'm not gonna go out and buy more rice just because I'm running low on the regular jasmine. So yeah, I've done it with basmati. I have done it with short grain, more like Japanese rice, and yeah. So I would say use whatever you have. Thank you, JJ. Okay, so I am smelling. Too bad technology is not here yet in terms of being able to spread the flavor and smell. I can send that over to all of you, but this is starting to smell really nice. So I am pressing down with my spatula to kind of get the juice out of the ginger and to flavor the oil. So it is smells really good by now. Okay, so you can keep your ginger in there if you love ginger. I do love ginger, but for this particular rice or dish, I am going to actually take it out after I get all the flavor out of it. So with this, I am now going to put the frozen vegetable. I always joke with my students that this is the sound of that you're doing a good job in terms of your food hitting the wok or your pan and getting that sound. Okay, a little tip for you. So whenever I cook with frozen vegetable or any type of vegetable, I always do add a splash of Chinese rice wine, 小興酒 in Cantonese. So a little goes a long way. So I just use my cap, pour like a cap full, and then drizzle it to the side of the pan. Ooh, smells amazing. This is just like any cuisine when you add wine. It adds a lot of fragrance, and to me it really helps with taking away that frozen vegetable taste to your dish. I'm going to add a little bit more oil just because cast iron is absorbing a lot of the oil. So I just noticed that it is a little dry. So because I did a good job with getting all the moisture out, it is now ready. If you're cooking this at home and you are using fresh vegetable, make sure you get all the liquid out before you add the next thing, which is your rice. All right, so I'm going to add my rice. Every grain of rice is in there. In our family, especially when we were young, we have to finish every grain of rice when we are having dinner. So I take that with me till now. So I'm going to add the preserved vegetable in there as well. You see how the sugar has been melted? the ones that we sprinkled on top. So this is already cooked, is edible, so yeah.
Elaine, if I could interject, do you mind telling them about a substitute for the rice wine? You have a great tip.
Oh yes, so if you don't have the rice wine, you can use gin. And I find that out because my mom's kitchen, she always had gin. And one time we ran out of rice wine, and so I kind of just tested it, and it worked really well. I bet whiskey would work as well. Basically, any grain-based alcohol should work. I wouldn't put red wine, like any kind of grape wine to it because it's too acidic. All right, so it's looking really good. So the rice, just at this stage, you basically want to break down the, so there's no like big chunks of rice in your pot, and it's good to go. So I wonder if you guys can see it, but it kind of looks like that. And now we are ready to add the sauce. So give it a quick stir, and then just let it over. Oh, I wish you can smell this. All right, this is ready to go. Okay, give you guys a quick look before I scoop it up. So this is ready. So heat off, and this is one of the dishes where I always tell people to have everything ready before you start cooking, because it goes so fast. So you don't want to be starting your wok and then trying to make the sauce, because you need to act fast, especially for fried rice. So a lot of Chinese cooking, you want to have sort of the mise en place, have everything ready before you get started. All right, so get some crunchy bits at the bottom as well. So this is done. If you guys have a wok or a cast iron, make sure at the end of your cooking that you kind of take care of it right away. Meaning, I'm going to put the water that I had earlier. Maybe a little bit more. So take care of your cast iron. And I'll be washing that immediately. I did actually have a student who wanted me to do a class about how to take care of cast iron. So if anyone is interested, I can do that as well. So you can smell it through the screen. Yay! Hi, Jack. Oh, Bill. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a close up and then have a bite. Happy Jan. So this is more of a it's less of a dry fried rice because of the sauce that I make with it. So it's more sort of homey. I love the umami flavor that comes from the fermented tofu that's infused into every grain of the rice. And of course the preserved vegetable adds that pop. So as you're kind of chewing into the soft rice and the frozen vegetable, you get that sort of surprise crunch. So delicious. I hope you guys would try it, and I wish you guys can have a taste, because this is a big bowl of rice. So this is pretty much the end of the video. I wanted to thank all of you for coming, and if you would like to support what I do and leave me a tip, you can always find me on PayPal. So it's paypal.me/dash of soy. I'm also on Venmo, so it's venmo.com/dash of soy. So I appreciate even if it's a small tip, because I am doing this mainly for supporting the community, and I will be launching online classes very, very soon. I am prepping for that right now. So if you want to follow the page on Facebook or Instagram, or if you go to dashofsoy.com and subscribe to my newsletter, I would let you guys know when I am ready to launch online classes. So that will come very soon. But I'm hoping to do a few more of these free and live cooking videos to help those who have or who's cooking a lot more than they used to and can use a bit more inspiration. I am repeating this dish again on Sunday, so if you know of anyone who would benefit from this show or this class, do let them know that I will come on live again on Sunday, Seattle time at 10:30. So I hope to see some of you there. And JJ, thank you for helping me to be the moderator.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. I'm gonna go weirdly go around and just end the video. Bye.